My beloved child, there are moments in life when I place a person before you, and at first glance you see only fragments of their story. You see the scars, but not the healing. You see the chapters of failure, but not the pages of redemption that I have already written. Many are looking for a perfect person, but perfection has never been the qualification for my love. If perfection were required, no soul would stand worthy before me. Listen carefully. The world teaches you to judge people by their history. I teach you to see them through the eyes of grace. There are those whom I have rescued from deep valleys. There are those who have walked through fires of regret, seasons of rebellion, and years of heartbreak. Yet while others remember who they were, I know who they are becoming. Do not be quick to dismiss a person simply because they carry a past. Every redeemed heart carries a testimony. Every healed wound carries wisdom. Every restored life displays my power. You may encounter someone whose journey is marked by mistakes. Perhaps they once chose the wrong path. Perhaps they trusted the wrong people. Perhaps they carry memories they wish they could erase. But understand this truth. A person's past is not always a prophecy of their future. Many people see the stain. I see the transformation. Many see what was broken. I see what I have rebuilt. Many remember the fall. I celebrate the rising. Have you forgotten how often I transform ordinary people into extraordinary vessels? The greatest miracles are not merely bodies healed or storms calmed. The greatest miracles are hearts changed. A changed heart is evidence that my hand has been at work. And sometimes, the person you are praying for will not arrive wrapped in flawless history. They will arrive carrying proof that my mercy still works. Be careful not to reject what heaven has restored. For some of you listening today, fear has become your counselor. You are afraid of being hurt, afraid of repeating old mistakes, afraid of trusting someone whose story is complicated. Yet wisdom and fear are not the same thing. Wisdom seeks truth, fear seeks escape. When I bring someone into your life, do not ask only, who were they? Ask, who are they becoming? Do not focus only on where they have been. Look carefully at where they are walking now. Character is not proven by a person's worst moment. Character is revealed by what they do after they have fallen. Can they be honest? Can they be humble? Can they accept responsibility? Can they seek growth? Can they walk faithfully when no one is watching? These questions reveal far more than a history report ever could. My child, redemption is one of the greatest themes woven throughout creation. The sunrise follows darkness, spring follows winter, hope follows sorrow, and restoration follows repentance. Why then are you surprised when I restore people too? Some of the strongest marriages are not built upon two flawless people. They are built upon two surrendered people. Two people who know their need for grace. Two people who understand forgiveness. Two people who have learned that love is not sustained by perfection, but by commitment, humility, and faith. The heart that has been healed often learns to treasure what others take for granted. The soul that has been forgiven often learns to extend mercy. The person who has survived brokenness often develops a deeper compassion than someone who has never suffered. Do not underestimate what I can create from a life that has been surrendered to me. I am still the God who makes all things new, not some things, not a few things, all things. And if I can transform a heart, renew a mind, restore a soul, and rebuild a life, then surely I can prepare someone for the covenant of marriage. Yet hear me clearly. Grace does not mean ignoring wisdom. Love does not mean overlooking truth. You must still discern carefully. You must still seek. You must still observe fruit rather than promises. Words can be spoken in a moment. Character is revealed over time. Watch for consistency. Watch for integrity. Watch for humility. Watch for spiritual maturity. A transformed life leaves evidence. The roots may be hidden beneath the soil, but eventually the fruit appears on the branches. And when you see genuine transformation, do not allow pride to blind you. Remember your own story. Remember the moments when my mercy carried you. Remember the failures I forgave. Remember the doors I opened despite your imperfections. The same grace that rescued you may also be rescuing the person standing before you. Perhaps the one you are meant to love is not the person everyone expected. Perhaps their story contains tears. Perhaps their testimony contains pain. Perhaps their past contains chapters they wish had never happened. Yet I have never been intimidated by a human past. I step into ruined places and build gardens. I step into darkness and create light. I step into broken stories and write beautiful endings. So if I place someone before you, do not rush to judgment. Discuss me first. Listen carefully. Pray deeply. Discern faithfully. And remember that redemption is not merely a doctrine. It is my nature. For the right person may not be someone who has never fallen. They may be someone who has learned how to rise. And sometimes the greatest love stories are born when two imperfect people discover the perfection of my grace. Trust me, I see what others cannot see. I know what others do not know. And I am still writing stories that the world believes are impossible. Amen. My beloved child, there is a truth many people struggle to understand because it stands in direct opposition to the way the world often judges. Human eyes are naturally drawn to mistakes, failures, disappointments, and broken chapters. People tend to measure others by what they have done, where they have been, and the moments they wish they could erase. Many can remember a person's worst decision with remarkable clarity, yet fail to notice the miracle of who that person has become. This is one of the reasons so many hearts carry invisible burdens. They feel trapped beneath labels that were placed upon them years ago. They feel imprisoned by memories that others refuse to release. They believe their greatest failure will forever speak louder than their transformation. But I do not see as human beings see. My vision reaches beyond appearances. I look beyond reputation. I look beyond the stories people tell about one another. I look directly into the heart. I see struggles that no one else understands. I see tears shed in private. I see prayers whispered in the darkness. I see battles fought in silence. I see repentance that never made headlines. I see growth that cannot be measured by outward appearances. While others focus on the record of mistakes, I focus on the evidence of renewal. Many people assume that a person's history tells them everything they need to know. They believe the past provides a complete picture of someone's identity. Yet history alone cannot reveal what my grace has accomplished. It cannot fully explain the work of restoration taking place beneath the surface. It cannot measure the transformation of a heart that has genuinely turned toward me. A person may carry scars from previous seasons, but scars are not always signs of defeat. Often they are reminders of healing. They testify that a wound once existed, but they also testify that recovery has taken place. There are those who look at a redeemed life and still choose to focus on the years before change occurred. They continue speaking about old failures. Long after those failures have been confessed, confronted, and abandoned, they cling to outdated versions of people, refusing to acknowledge the new work that has taken place. Yet redemption has always been one of my greatest demonstrations of power. The transformation of a human heart is not a small thing. It is not a minor adjustment. It is a miracle that unfolds from the inside outward. It changes desires, priorities, attitudes, and perspectives. It reshapes the way a person thinks, loves, forgives, and lives. Consider how often people underestimate the depth of true change. They assume that because someone once walked a certain path, they must always remain on that path. They assume that because someone once made poor choices, they are destined to repeat them forever. They forget that I specialize in restoring what appears beyond repair. I have always worked through imperfect people. Throughout every generation, I have called individuals whose histories contained weakness, fear, failure, and regret. Their stories were not remarkable because they were flawless. Their stories became remarkable because my grace entered their lives and transformed them. The world often rewards appearances while overlooking genuine growth. It celebrates image while neglecting character. Yet character is forged in places where few people are willing to look. It develops through humility, surrender, perseverance, and faithfulness. A person who has experienced redemption often carries lessons that cannot be learned any other way. They understand the consequences of poor decisions. They understand the value of mercy. They understand the importance of truth. They understand the necessity of dependence upon me. Their journey has taught them things that comfort and convenience could never teach. Do not be too quick to define someone by chapters that I have already redeemed. Do not assume that yesterday's struggles represent today's reality. A transformed heart deserves to be seen through the lens of what I am accomplishing, not merely through the lens of what once happened. This does not mean ignoring wisdom or pretending mistakes never existed. It means recognizing that my grace has the power to create something new. It means acknowledging that growth is possible. It means believing that restoration is real. When I look at a life, I do not simply examine where that person has been. I see where they are going. I see the potential that remains hidden from human observation. I see the future that is still unfolding. I see the strength developing through every challenge. I see the maturity emerging through every lesson. I see the wisdom gained through every hardship. While others may focus on broken pieces scattered across the ground, I see the masterpiece that is being carefully rebuilt. Many people spend years fearing that their past will forever define them. They carry shame because they believe they can never escape old identities. They wonder if anyone will ever look beyond previous mistakes. They question whether they can truly move forward. Yet redemption speaks a different language. Redemption declares that change is possible. Redemption announces that restoration can occur. Redemption reveals that no failure is greater than the transforming power of grace. Redemption demonstrates that the story is not finished, simply because difficult chapters exist within it. Every life touched by grace becomes evidence that transformation is more powerful than condemnation. Every restored heart becomes proof that mercy accomplishes what judgment never could. Every renewed soul becomes a testimony that the past may explain where someone has been, but it does not possess the authority to determine who they must remain, my beloved child. One of the greatest mistakes people make is believing that a person's past holds the final authority over their future. The world often treats history as destiny. It assumes that what someone once was is all they can ever be. It looks at old failures and predicts future failures. It examines previous mistakes and assumes those mistakes will continue forever. Yet this way of thinking ignores one of the most powerful truths woven into human existence. People can change, hearts can change, minds can change, lives can change. Many individuals carry a deep fear that they will never escape who they used to be. They remember their own regrets with painful clarity. They think about opportunities they wasted, relationships they damaged, and choices they wish they could undo. Sometimes they believe those moments have permanently defined them. They walk through life feeling as though invisible chains are attached to old versions of themselves. Every time they attempt to move forward, the memory of yesterday pulls them backward. Every time they try to embrace hope, shame reminds them of what once happened. But a person's past is not the final chapter of their story. It is only part of the story. No book is understood by reading a single page. No journey is defined by a single step. No life can be accurately measured by one season, one mistake, one weakness, or one period of failure. Human beings are constantly growing, learning, and evolving through experiences that shape their character. The person standing before you today may be very different from the person they once were. The danger of focusing too heavily on the past is that it blinds people to transformation. When someone becomes fixated on old failures, they often miss evidence of present growth. They become so focused on what happened years ago that they fail to notice what is happening now. They see scars but overlook healing. They see former weaknesses but ignore new strength. They remember brokenness but fail to recognize restoration. Many people judge others according to moments they themselves would not want to be judged by. Imagine if every mistake you ever made became the permanent definition of your identity. Imagine if every poor decision followed you forever, regardless of how much you learned from it. Imagine if every failure became a label that could never be removed. Few people would want to live under such conditions. Yet this is often exactly how human judgment operates. It freezes people in time and refuses to acknowledge growth. Growth is one of the most remarkable gifts woven into life. Every lesson learned creates an opportunity for change. Every hardship endured can produce wisdom. Every failure confronted honestly can become a stepping stone toward maturity. Some of the strongest individuals are not those who have never stumbled. They are those who stumbled, learned, adapted, and continued moving forward. Their strength was developed through experience. Their character was refined through difficulty. Their resilience was forged through challenges that forced them to become better than they once were. There are people whose pasts contain pain, confusion, and poor decisions. There are individuals who spent years searching for purpose in the wrong places. There are those who trusted the wrong voices, followed the wrong paths, or allowed fear to influence their choices. Yet many of those same people eventually gained wisdom they could not have acquired any other way. Their mistakes taught them caution. Their disappointments taught them discernment. Their failures taught them humility. Their struggles taught them compassion for others facing similar battles. A person's future is shaped not merely by where they have been, but by what they choose to do with what they have learned. Two individuals may share similar histories, yet walk completely different roads because of the decisions they make afterward. One may remain trapped in destructive patterns, while the other may embrace growth and transformation. The difference is not found in their past, but in their response to it. History influences people, but it does not imprison them unless they allow it to do so. It is important to understand that genuine change rarely happens overnight. Transformation is often a process rather than a single moment. It unfolds through choices made consistently over time. It develops through discipline, honesty, humility, and perseverance. People who are truly changing do not simply speak differently. They begin living differently. Their priorities shift. Their attitudes mature. Their actions gradually align with the lessons they have learned. Real growth leaves visible evidence. Sometimes the very experiences people regret most become the foundation for their greatest strengths. A person who has experienced betrayal may learn the value of loyalty. A person who has suffered consequences may develop wisdom. A person who has known failure may gain determination. A person who has walked through darkness may learn to appreciate light in ways others cannot fully understand. Difficult chapters often create opportunities for growth that comfortable seasons never provide. When evaluating someone, wisdom requires looking beyond old labels. It requires observing who they are becoming rather than assuming they are forever who they once were. It means paying attention to present character instead of relying exclusively on past reputation. It means recognizing that maturity is possible. It means understanding that redemption, learning, and growth are realities that continue throughout life. Many remarkable lives would never have flourished if they had been permanently judged by their earliest failures. Many great stories would never have been written if mistakes had the power to cancel every future possibility. Human history is filled with examples of people who overcame weakness, corrected mistakes, and became far different from what others expected. Their greatest achievements emerged not because they never failed, but because failure did not have the final word over their future. The person someone used to be may explain part of their journey, but it cannot fully reveal the person they are becoming. The lessons learned, the wisdom gained, the character developed, and the growth achieved all contribute to a future that remains unwritten. A future shaped by choices, transformation, perseverance, and the continual possibility of becoming more than yesterday ever suggested. My beloved child, if you wish to understand who someone truly is, you must learn to look beyond old stories and examine the fruit their life is producing today. Many people spend so much time investigating the past that they fail to evaluate the present. They search through former mistakes, previous relationships, and outdated versions of a person, believing that history alone will reveal everything they need to know. Yet wisdom requires more than looking backward. Wisdom requires careful observation of who someone is now, how they live now, what they value now, and what evidence their daily choices reveal. A person's past may provide context, but present fruit provides clarity. The past can explain where someone has been. It can reveal lessons they have learned, hardships they have endured, and mistakes they have made. However, The present reveals whether growth has occurred. It reveals whether lessons were embraced or ignored. It reveals whether character has been strengthened or whether old patterns continue unchanged. This is why discernment must never rely solely upon history. Discernment requires attention to what is happening in the current season of a person's life. Many people know how to say the right words. They know how to create favorable impressions. They know how to tell stories that make them appear trustworthy. Yet words alone are not reliable indicators of character. Promises can be made quickly. Intentions can be expressed easily. True character reveals itself through consistent behavior. Over time, it is demonstrated through actions rather than announcements. It becomes visible through patterns rather than isolated moments. When you observe a person's life, pay attention to consistency. Consistency often reveals what occasional behavior attempts to conceal. Anyone can appear kind for a day. Anyone can appear disciplined for a week. Anyone can display patience when circumstances are comfortable. Yet genuine character remains visible even when life becomes difficult. Consistency is the bridge between intention and reality. It demonstrates that values are not merely spoken, but practiced. Observe how a person responds when they are disappointed. Disappointment has a way of exposing hidden attitudes. Some individuals become bitter, resentful, or destructive when things do not go their way. Others remain steady, respectful, and composed even when facing frustration. These responses reveal much about the condition of the heart. Character is often most visible during seasons of pressure because pressure removes many of the masks people wear during easier times. Pay attention to humility. Humility is one of the clearest signs of maturity. A humble person does not pretend to be perfect. They are willing to acknowledge mistakes. They accept responsibility when they are wrong. They do not constantly seek to shift blame onto others. They recognize their limitations and remain open to growth. Pride resists correction because it fears exposure. Humility welcomes truth because it values growth. More than appearance, notice how someone treats people who can offer them nothing in return. Many individuals display kindness when there is a reward attached. They are generous when recognition is available. They are respectful when benefits can be gained. Yet true character appears most clearly in moments where there is no advantage to be earned. The way someone treats strangers, workers, children, and those with less influence often reveals more about their heart than the way they treat people they hope to impress. Watch how a person handles responsibility. Responsibility is a powerful indicator of integrity. People of strong character follow through on commitments. They understand that trust is built through reliability. They do not make promises casually. They recognize that words carry weight and that commitments should be honored. Their actions create confidence because their behavior aligns with what they say. Examine whether growth is evident in their life. No person is perfect. Every individual has weaknesses and areas requiring improvement. The question is not whether flaws exist. The question is whether growth is occurring. Is the person becoming wiser? Are they learning from mistakes? Are they making efforts to improve? Are they demonstrating increasing maturity? Growth reveals a willingness to confront weaknesses rather than ignore them. Many people become trapped because they evaluate others according to isolated moments instead of long-term patterns. A single good day does not prove character. A single mistake does not necessarily destroy it. Wisdom looks for patterns that repeat consistently over time. Patterns reveal direction. Patterns reveal habits. Patterns reveal priorities. They provide a clearer picture than occasional successes or failures. A transformed life leaves evidence that can be observed. The evidence may not always be dramatic. Often it appears through small choices repeated faithfully over time. Increased patience, greater honesty, deeper compassion, stronger self-control, improved accountability, and healthier relationships all serve as indicators that growth is taking place. Real transformation rarely remains hidden forever. Eventually it becomes visible through the fruit it produces. Be cautious of becoming overly impressed by charm, appearance, status, or confidence. These qualities can create powerful first impressions, but they do not necessarily reveal character. Some people possess remarkable charisma while lacking integrity. Others may appear ordinary while possessing exceptional wisdom and reliability. Discernment requires looking beneath surface impressions and paying attention to deeper qualities that endure over time. Observe whether actions align with values. Many people claim to believe important principles, but genuine conviction becomes visible through behavior. What a person consistently does often reveals more than what they repeatedly say. Values become credible when they are practiced. Beliefs become meaningful when they influence daily decisions. Integrity exists when words and actions move together rather than in separate directions. The present season of a person's life offers valuable insight into who they are becoming. It reveals whether they are moving toward greater maturity or remaining trapped in unhealthy patterns. It demonstrates whether lessons have produced wisdom or whether experience has been wasted. While the past provides important information, present fruit offers stronger evidence of character because it reflects current choices, current priorities, current habits, current attitudes, and the ongoing direction of the heart.